happy whatever, my meat popsicles. Today we're going to be talking about SCP-950. It's a dryer with special drying powers, a mysterious one, and I have a few theories about it, but let's get into how they contain this thing first. SCP-950 is to be stored in a well-lit room with a video camera in one corner and is to remain plugged into an isolated electrical generator. The output resulting from the completion of SCP-950's activity must be handled with extreme caution. All non-Class D personnel must handle the laundry or any baskets containing the laundry with sterile gloves and hospital-grade masks. All output is to be inspected and photographed as directed by the lead of SCP-950 testing. All articles output are to be incinerated afterwards unless directed by the lead of testing. Personnel who wish to volunteer their own laundry must first be vetted, and the contents of their submission must be inspected before they are granted entry into the testing room. Okay, so not too crazy as far as containment goes, so let's see what this thing does. Description: SCP-950 is a black-colored dryer of the series from GE. All components match with usual examples of the series, though GE has never made them in black. When the machine is started on any setting, any laundry within the machine goes through a normal tumbling and drying process. However, halfway through the determined cycle, the contents will begin to change or disappear entirely. When the cycle ends and the door is opened, what is found is a collection of clothing entirely different from what was put in. Input objects that are not clothing also go through this process and end up as laundry in the same manner. When the machine is empty, the cycle runs as normal and no transformation occurs. All tests have shown that the resultant laundry has never been seen before by the person who owned the input clothing. As well, in almost all cases, the output articles are much dirtier than those input and are often covered in stains. Human and other animal bodily fluids of all known kinds have been recorded on various articles of clothing, and there have been several with contagious viruses, including Ebola and the Occasionally, some articles have tears and cuts corresponding to those that would have been made by various kinds of weapons. DNA samples have been drawn from many of the output articles. Some samples match with those of victims of crime or disease, and more match with people who are listed as healthy and suffered only temporary injury or illness. About 40% of the DNA samples are either animal DNA or human DNA that has not been previously recorded in any database. 3 articles have had residues of crushed insects of previously undiscovered species. 1 article, redacted, no known life on Earth. Okay, so we've got a gross lost and found from ? That will replace your laundry with other pieces of laundry that are different and gross and potentially deadly. The Foundation being the Foundation, they did some tests to see what this dryer can do. So let's dig in. Test 1. For the first test, they threw in some clean D-class uniforms, a jacket, 3 pairs of dirty socks, and 6 pairs of underwear, still wet from the wash. The dryer was set to tumble dry for 60 minutes. What came out was 1 black tank top, woman's fit, dried bloodstain with small knife tear in stomach area, 1 black sports sock balled up with dried saliva stains, 1 pair of children's-sized pajama pants torn down the outside of the left leg, 2 pairs of men's medium-sized underwear stained with and Test 2. For the second test, they sent in some dirty stuff. A heavily worn carpet, old pillowcases, and a month-old bedsheet with blood on the corner. The dryer was set to heavies. What came back? A twin-sized bedsheet covered in a layer of rotten biological residue. Later analysis revealed it to be mostly human skin and muscle that had been left in very salty water for at least 6 months. A formal men's tuxedo, displaying signs of advanced age and decomposition, with traces of human flesh and bone remaining on the inside, as well as traces of soil on the outside surfaces. The staff believed it to be between 10 and 15 years old. 4 pairs of ladies' hosiery, heavily stained by sweat. Analysis proved inconclusive as to the identity of the wearers, and 1 was torn in multiple places, while the other 3 of the same kind were intact. 2 infant-sized button-up shirts, both dark blue, both have the name Peter written on the tag on the neck in blue ink, and no unusual stains or residues were observed on either. Test 3. For the last test, they used children's toys. These toys didn't have any electronics or metal parts, so it wouldn't damage the dryer. The dryer was set to delicates. What came back was 5 plastic wristbands as used by modern morgues to identify bodies. Each wristband had the name of a child that had died due to ingesting small toys or parts of toys. It should be noted that each name was traced to a different country and that all 5 had died in the last year. So is this a dryer from another universe? Is this a make bad stuff happen machine? Is there some murderer out there using this dryer to try to get rid of evidence? Is an SCP Foundation from another universe using it as a garbage disposal? Where do you think this dryer came from? What do you think is its purpose? Let me know what you think in the comments. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by for my first SCP video ever. If you enjoyed what you saw here tonight and would like to see more SCP videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. If you didn't like what you saw, you can just go follow me on Twitch. We'll have a good time there.